Hello and welcome back. This is Meg, and I am so excited to be with you today. I am going to be recording this video with one tangle to start out with, and depending on how far I can get and well, where the energy takes me, we'll see what else I might do with it. But this is one of my favorite tangles, and the reason is because well, it's relatively easy. It follows a very clear pattern, and the results are really cool. So I'm using this Zentangle Phi tile today, and I'm going to first start with making up 4 dots in the corners, and then I'm going to pause and put my pencil down and take a breath. And take one breath for myself. And one breath for you. And one breath for all of us as a community. There we go. Now I start my tile. Alright, I'm going to make this border, connect these dots with, it doesn't have to be a perfect line, just a nice connection between these dots to give a frame, a border around this tile. And then I'm going to draw a grid pattern across the entire thing. And we're going to be using that grid pattern for the whole tangle. Let's see, how can I best do that? There we go. And I think I want 3 down, 3 across here. So 1, 2, 3. There we go. It'll be a pretty big tangle design, but this will give us a lot of room to do interesting things. So my next step is to put a nice sized circle at the intersection of each of these pencil lines. And as usual, put my pen down, make nice, slow, deliberate strokes. I'm not in a hurry. I don't have anywhere more interesting to be. There's nothing I'd rather be doing. I hope you feel the same. I hope this is a gift of time to yourself to learn something and put your pen and pencil to paper and experience the relaxing nature, I hope, for you, of slow, deliberate design using patterns to create something beautiful. Okay, so these are my dots on all of the intersections of this basic grid pattern. And now I'm going to show you the basic structure of this pattern. And I actually find it a little easier to start it in the middle somewhere than to try to come up here and do it. I don't know why. It's just the way my brain works. So I'm going to start by going around this first circle and over to the next one and then curling around it. So they call this in Zentangle lift off and landing, or take off and landing. And so that's kind of what I'm doing here when I say I'm going around the circle and then taking off. Now, I didn't describe it yet, but this particular pattern is what I need to do. I need to have one takeoff and landing here, and one takeoff and landing there. And then I want to do the same thing going the other direction, but inwards instead of outwards. So I'll take off and land there. And then take off over here and land there. So that's the basic shape that we're working with for this design. And the way that we replicate it is turn the tile, and every one kind of alternates. You see one this way with a top and a bottom, and then we'll go this way and it'll be a top and a bottom, and same thing. And by top and bottom I mean this shape on the outside of the dots and this shape on the outside of the dots. So let's do again what we did on the other side, which is take off and land, and then the inside lines, take off and land. Now if you're anxious about making these shapes the same or equidistant from each other, etc., don't stress yourself out, because this design works beautifully with lots of different sort of types of shapes that come from here. Larger dots, smaller dots. There's a lot of things you can do with this, and so don't stress out if yours doesn't look like mine, or if you're not sure if you're doing it right. This one does take some practice, but it's also super satisfying. That shadow is Kitty Freya, come to say hello. Hello, Kitty Freya. Here's my sweet girl. All right, we scoot her over. There she comes back again. She's like, oh, you're filming? That's for me. Excellent. Great timing, Freya. Okay. Now I'm going to keep going like this with this pattern around. Come on, Freya. Come on. Come on. Got to get her off the table here, or she's going to mess me up. And around the outside there. So you see I'm getting this pattern of these shapes back and forth, back and forth. All right, well, Freya's going to stay here with us, so you might see her pause in the picture from time to time. She is interested in being right in the middle of this activity today, and that is okay. She's not a very social cat, if you want to know the truth. Well, I should say not very affectionate. And so we kind of get desperate for her affection. You know, she comes around and hangs out with me. I'm like, yay, she does like me. So I'm sure as heck not going to kick her out, right? There we go. And around the outside here. And then on the inside here. So you see, this is a really cool kind of basket weave, over and under look. I love it. Once we're done with it, we get to decide how to treat the insides of these shapes, right? There's nice big spaces in here to play with. Yeah, baby. Okay. Look at that. I love it. Now we have the opportunity to work inside of these spaces. And I have done this a number of different ways. I'll show you a couple of examples. Here's one where this is my sketchbook, and here's one that I did pretty much the same, size as this. And then I put these designs inside, and I think it's really cool. It's kind of this, I don't know, kind of Aztec or something. It has a pattern, reminds me of like a blanket, a woven blanket pattern. But I like it a lot. This is not the same design. I'll do that one another time, perhaps. This is the same one I started here, but I just haven't gone very far with it. And I do use this design in a number of different, I use it kind of all the time because it's one of my favorites. It's just so successful. You know, when you do it, you're like, oh yeah, that looks cool. So I was going to see if I could find one other example of it in here to show you. Maybe that's one. Well, in fact, this is the same design here, but instead of going the other direction, or when I went the other direction here, I put in a design of this water every other one, you see? So it created this alternating pattern of these striped sections and these sort of water sections, which I do think looks pretty cool. So as you can see, there's just lots and lots of ways to do this, and we're going to explore one now. So first thing I'm going to do is aura around these sections. And so, as I've talked about before, an aura is kind of like an echo, a line that follows the line next to it directly. So I'm going to aura inside each one of these boxes. And I like this little shape here. It's just a little detail that I can curve around a little bit. It's not important, but it does add a little kind of interest to this, to have these little corners that go in. So I have discovered over time that I really like that. And I've done this aura pretty close to the edge, it looks like. Don't always do them that way. Sometimes I get, much further on the inside. But this time I'm doing them a little bit close to the edge. And then we'll see what goes inside. So I'm going to aura all the way around each one. And sit up nice and tall, hold my back straight and my tummy in, and keep breathing while I'm doing these not nice intentional strokes, almost straight, just slightly curved. I will be making some kits available on my Etsy page. If you're interested in buying combinations of different tiles, I will be pricing them just above wholesale, just enough to make sure I cover my own shipping and time. And I buy directly from Zentangle at wholesale prices as a certified Zentangle teacher, and then I'm able to pass some savings on to you. I can't discount the products, and I wouldn't want to. They're just really nice materials, and a lot goes into sourcing and choosing the particular paper. And oh, would you look at there? I think I already did that one. All right, so now I have 2 auras inside here. No biggie. Maybe I'll do 2 and all the rest of them. But for now, I will finish the ones and see where that takes me. So anyway, if you're interested in buying tiles in different combinations, like 5 square, 5 round, 3 pre-strung, 3 bijou, etc., etc., then check out my Etsy page, which is go to etsy.com and then search Meg Steele Creates, and you'll come up with my Etsy page, which has a lot of other things on it too, mostly painted rocks. And I will begin to sell these tiles that I'm doing on the videos on my Etsy page for those people who might want to buy the one that they watched or simply like one in particular and would like to have it for their very own. So there we go. Now, is this a problem? Let's see. What I could do is only do double ones on, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do double auras on these that go upright, this way, vertical. So let's start with that. Sometimes when I make a mistake, it's not a mistake, it's just the first time I do it. Then if I do it again, it's a pattern. It's not a mistake, it's a pattern. As long as you do it more than once. Which in my case is easy to do. Oh, this is nice. I really love the way this looks. I hope you do too. I feel like when I draw this, I feel successful. I feel like, you know, I feel talented. And there are some designs just like this where they take a little time to do it, but once you do it, it just looks so cool. So this is one of those. It's right always in my pocket. My go-to tangles. There you go. Okay. So one of the things that I like about this particular shape is it kind of looks metal-like, like chain links. So I'm going to try to play on that a little bit and give it a little bit more of sort of a chain look, if you will, like a decorated chain. So I'm going to start with these that are now vertical, where I've only got one frame inside of there, and see what I can do. And I usually do, well, not usually, but this is the way I'm going to do it today. I'm just going to play with some shapes like this, kind of muka shapes. Muka is a word that Zentangle invented to describe this design. And it's a cool name. And all the tangles that they create have names, and I am terrible at remembering them. So if that's a really big deal to you and you really want to know what the names are, let me know in the comments, and then I'll make a real point to find them out for you. But frankly, if you all don't care, then I don't care, because it just doesn't, I mean, sometimes I remember them and I'll tell you, but most of the time I just don't remember the names because the names are not the important part to me. But I'm happy to do the homework and to tell you what they are, if that's important to you and you're watching my videos, okay? Yeah, so I'm doing these muka shapes inside of here, and I don't have really a particular pattern or rhyme or reason for why I'm doing them a certain way, other than I do tend to make the bigger ones first, because otherwise you run out of space and you can't do them very big. And so I tried to, and I also tried to layer them a little bit so that we get visual interest and they're not just flat. You know, I like it to kind of look like it might, in this case I'm sort of thinking about them looking kind of carved in this metal. And I want them all to be different because they're, I don't know, I just think this is going to look kind of neat as a, you know, like an ornamental treatment of these things. Again, remember not to get too stressed and hold your shoulders tight. Just let them go. Drop your shoulders down. Let this be a time for you that is not stressful. No real agenda other than enjoying it and learning something. Enjoy the process. Or maybe you're just watching for the pleasure of watching something come to life and you don't need to draw along with it or don't want to or something. Maybe you've even got the sound off and you just watch. I heard from someone that that's how they watch them, and that is awesome. I don't like the overuse of the word awesome, but sorry about that. But it is awesome. However you're enjoying it makes me so happy. Also, I do want to mention that I do this work as classes for corporations and for groups. And so I've done birthday parties for, certain kind of kids. This is the right kind of activity for a small group of their friends, and they have the best time. And then, and it's nice and calm. You don't end up with a bunch of crazy kids running around, because this is the most calming thing to do, and they love it with the right group. Anyway, I've also done it with corporate teams, both in person and remotely. And again, extremely welcomed and beneficial for teams of people. It's as a little, not as a team builder per se, but as a team experience, and something that is a wellness event, frankly. It's a wonderful investment in employees to give them the time to learn a skill that helps them de-stress and stay grounded. And this is one of those skills. This is incredibly helpful for all types of people to lower their blood pressure. I've been teaching this. I've taught it at cancer clinics with folks that are surviving or dying. I've done it with people who have chronic pain. It is an extremely helpful methodology for taking your mind off of pain and channeling pain towards something that you can control, because there's so much about pain and illnesses, etc., that you just simply don't have any control over at all. So here I've done mukha in all of these what I call vertical shapes when looking at it this way. So this one, as you can see, I've done mukha in those, and they look really cool, I think. I'm going to go back in now and kind of aura around them, because I think that looks pretty cool inside these shapes. Again, I'm trying to sort of give this impression of it being carved, if you will. Or, and again, it's not supposed to look like that necessarily. It just gives you an impression, and that's all I'm after here. I'm not looking for anybody to check my work and say, that doesn't look like that. That's okay. Alrighty, so it doesn't look like it. But it's sure fun to sort of play with that idea of a carving in this space. And so sometimes I go like this, where I'll aura around a shape like that. And then if I hit a wall, I just kind of come back around the corner and I do an aura here. And then I fill in this with two triangles, So I'm just trying to emphasize these shapes inside of here and take up the whole space, if you will. There we go. This one's a little different. All right. Once again, I apologize for my sniffles. I'm sure that it's allergies. Just enough to be irritating. Not enough to take medicine for. So anyway, if you're interested in, talking with me about a corporate event or a team building event or a birthday party or something else like that, you can comment here. You can also email me at meg@megsteelcreates, and I would be happy to correspond with you. Oh, I forgot one here. I felt like I did when I was doing. I was looking at it earlier, and I was like, "Gosh, it feels like I forgot one," but for whatever reason, I couldn't see it. So I'll continue this one here. So it's meg@megsteelcreates, and I will answer you promptly, and let's talk about what we could do for your special event or for your team builder wellness activity or something like that. I would be just delighted to prepare something, and I'm an expert facilitator, so you can count on the event to be one that is professional and appropriate for the right setting, etc. So I do HR consulting also, and so my ability to blend in your culture as needed is good, and to leave your team with something that they're excited about the experience. So there we go. These are coming out great. And this one. There we go. Those look great. Now, let's see here. What I think I'm going to do is take I'm going to work on some shading. And let me see here. This is my little stack of pens and pencils I have right here next to me. And it looks like I am going to need to use this pencil. Okay. So I'm going to start with shading the outside of each of these boxes here, like this. The outside edges of it, including the outside edges. Yeah. The options are limitless for what you can do with this design. There we go. And I'm going to take my white pencil, my General's white chalk pencil, and I'm going to color in, basically highlight inside of these blank boxes. I think that I can give a really cool impression of almost like, you know, shiny silver or platinum or something. I don't know. I just think this will look great to make use of these big blank spaces to really provide some contrast. And I'm going to be smudging this, but not outside of these lines. So, you know, the more I lay down, the more white it'll be. But I'm not putting so much down that I'm trying to extend it way outside of these lines. I'm not going to do that with it. I'm just going to smudge it inside of the box. But I am pressing pretty hard and putting down a fair amount of white here, because it looks so cool. Yeah, baby. Okay. And then I want to take my gold pen, and this is a metallic gold jelly roll pen. is what this is. And I'm going to color in these little joints right here with gold. So I've got my gold dots on all of them. I checked that out. So I've got them, and now I want to go back and do some smudging of this shadow line on the outside. Really bring that one to life. Isn't it interesting how the smudging kind of makes it darker a little bit? I do think I need it on the outside edges of this here. Just looks like it's missing. There's no reason for that. So I'm just going to add it around these edges there like this. Okay, I think I got them all. Look at that, coming out great, huh? I love it, super interesting. Let me work on the white now within these, and I kind of like it using a dirty tortillon because look what it does to it. It kind of gives this, I don't know, sort of antique-y look in there, right? It's not perfectly white, it's got a little smudginess in it. I'm not, as I said, I'm not taking the white outside of this box, but maybe in some way I'm bringing some of the, you know, the graphite into the box because my tortillon has got some graphite on it, right? So it gives this kind of, you know, just not a lot of it, but a little bit of a dirty look to it that I think is kind of nice for contrast on this in this white section. It's just a hint, you know, not a lot, or else the whole thing, as I always say, you know, if you shade the whole thing, then you've shaded nothing because it's all the same. So in this case, I really love the white that stands out with that. I think it looks pretty neat. And in those design areas, I feel like it needs more in terms of, you know, in between here. So I think I'm going to take this pencil and kind of with the sharp end, I'm just going to go in between and right alongside some of those larger shapes that I drew in there, I'm going to shade. You know, the in particular the mucas right? Some of the outer shapes that I did that are like just triangles and stuff, I think once I shade the mucas, then those will pop, and I won't need to shade at all. That way I will avoid that problem of shading everything. You know, if I tried to go around everything in these small spaces, then it would just get completely messy, and I think hard to see. But I'm about to get this like this, and we'll go around these mucus shapes just to give them a little more depth. Like that. That's nice. I want to give a shout out to my fellow tanglers who are doing videos online. I'm watching your videos, and it's helping me grow as a tangler and also as a YouTuber. And appreciate all the hard work that all of you have put into figuring out what works best. I know from now my own experience that it's not easy. There's a lot of elements that you have to do. It's not just about sitting down with your iPhone and making videos. So I really appreciate the people who have been doing it longer than me, and they give me somebody to watch and learn from. So shout out to all of you. If you're watching me, I'd love to know it, and comment, and hope you'll like and subscribe. I pay attention to every single person who does, and you'd be surprised. I mean, I sit there watching YouTube videos, and I don't always like and subscribe, so I know that it is much easier to just watch the video and move on, and you're like, oh, that's somebody else's thing. Somebody else can like and subscribe. But especially if you do return from time to time, you know, now that I've been working with YouTube more, I've found that it is actually helpful to have my favorite channels subscribed to, and then I can just go to my subscriptions over on the left-hand side of the screen and look at the things that are my favorites. And not to mention, subscribers are what YouTube measures in terms of your popularity. So even in search results and things like that, you know, my videos won't even come up unless I have enough subscribers and likes and all that. So, you know, every like is important right now, and every subscriber is important. And I just want to say thank you if you have already done that, or if you are going to do it today. Thank you so much for your support. And this is coming out great. I am so happy with it. Yeah, that's got a really cool look to it, doesn't it? Now let me see. I do think, you know, the gold that I put in these little rivets here, you can't really see it. They're not really bright gold. So I'm going to go back through one more time and just lay down a little bit more on top, because maybe I've gotten them a little dusty or dirty from the smudging I've done, or maybe the side of my hand got the paint before I finished. Anyway, yeah, there's a few places where I can see that there's just the graphite is covering it up, kind of. There we go. Well, I could not be more pleased. I think this looks super cool. I hope yours does too. I hope you've enjoyed this particular pattern. It's, as I said, it's one of my favorites, and I just return to it time and again for fun. I hope it's a fun one for you, and I'm sure that you'll see me use it again. I'm going to turn my tile over and sign it today, And April 2021. And if you want to buy this tile, you can. I'm going to put it on my Etsy page, and that is Etsy, and it's Meg Steele Creates. It's the same name on that shop. So thank you again for joining me, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Take a deep breath. Look at your work. Appreciate the time you gave yourself. What a gift. And have a really good day. Thanks again. Bye-bye.